30, 97 seconds.
Bays Boys podcast.
Drop it on them, Joe Skelly.
What do you mean? That's it? They just nothing, no
all
love. Just drop it on them.
Well, you didn't want to.
This is Joe Skelly, your host today.
No, I was saying you should start singing to them again. Like you were serenading I and Shaggy.
Well, first of all, your grammar needs to be better.
Yeah.
And then perhaps I would, but I'm not.
I'm
and
punk,
my
I'm punk as
co-host,
fuck.
Tyler, I don't know.
I don't know about that. I'm punk as fuck. It doesn't have to be anymore.
Apparently.
I go to real punk shows. What do you know?
Oh, no. All of a sudden, now you're punk?
I mean, that's all it takes.
You've been to two.
Was it two? I thought it was like 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah, I thought American Werewolf was not punk.
Oh, but you did go see
Who?
The Ramones cover.
Oh,
Tribute.
Yeah. So that's like a quarter?
Yeah.
Because they have the costume.
Yeah.
And the music. So I guess we'll give them 5.5.
They get more than 0.5. That's
0.75?
That's 2.
Oh, okay. 2?
2.5.
2.5?
Yeah.
All right.
We're working on it.
So it counts.
We're working on it.
If we go see, what is this, like, gypsy punk band? That's
Gogol Bordello.
They're a big thing, huh?
A huge thing. They've been a huge thing for a while. You missed Bikini Kill.
Is that a person or a...
And you missed Bouncing Souls.
That's a band.
Yes, and so is Bikini Kill.
Oh. It wasn't the album or something then.
All
right.
Stop calling yourself punk right now. I'm pulling out the fucking red card.
Red card. Wait a minute. But I have a Blink-182 shirt.
Oh. There you got.
I'm joking. I don't know that.
Where'd you get it?
Hold on.
Where'd you get it?
Nope.
You got it at Hot Topic.
Bro, you
so
know
fuck
I
you,
don't.
that doesn't count.
You know I do not own a Blink-182 shirt. Let's move on. Let's restart. Bays Boys Podcast, welcome to the new episode, because it's the newest one that you're listening to.
For sure.
So it's the newest.
It's the newest.
Let's go back to our family and friends. Thank you to all of our family and friends that support us. Thank you to our Patreon subscribers.
Yes.
That's like...
Dude, we got a whole cup of coffee. Two whole cups of coffee.
Yeah, he's a gangster.
Gangster. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And to our Anchor subscribers.
Our Anchor, yeah.
Yeah,
Our
who've been buying us bananas for a long time.
They've been buying us bananas for a while.
So thank you all. We appreciate you. As usual, this is a big episode.
This is a huge episode.
Yeah, because we actually are not even on our regular studio recording time, just so it would be fresh.
Super fresh.
Right.
Like Dougie fresh.
You know what's... Well, we're going to get it. Oh, God. You know what's not fresh we're going to talk about in a bit. But anyways, so let's talk about that. Wait, who did we thank? We thanked all of our subscribers. That's all that matters.
Yep.
Thank you for everyone who's listening. Thank you to all of our listeners who listen, that don't even listen to podcasts, but try to mull through our garbage. We have a few of those. Whiskey. Shout out to old Whiskey.
Yeah, thank you, Whiskey.
Who's now pumping it left and right when he's at work.
Yeah, that's dope.
He's like, man, I smell dog shit. I may as well listen to some dog shit, and puts our podcast on. What's up, boys? So, yeah. Shout out to all
and
those
if you
people.
want to help us have coffee, you go to our Patreon page.
Have coffee?
Yeah, drink coffee.
See, if you're punk, so you can ruin the grammar, but I can't. What is this rule?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I think it's just because you're better looking. You think you can do what you do.
Oh,
Here we go.
Debatable.
Ricky Martin.
Oh,
You better just calm down.
okay.
He's doing a dance, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I'm not.
He's standing up, swinging his hips. Oh, I can see his butt.
Yeah, let's stop. Let's stop with the lies. Right?
All right. Let's go.
We agreed that we wouldn't lie on this show. That's one of our rules.
Oh,
right?
Is it? We should write this shit down. Well, we have. What the hell was that?
That's that fat dude on the electric bike I saw on the way over here.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he had like 12 cars stacked up behind him because he was driving down the main road on his electric bike.
What the hell just happened? Okay, well, I believe it. There are a couple of fellas like that around here. So, wait, we're so off track already.
So yeah, subscribe to our
still...
Patreon page and help us drink coffee.
Yes, that.
Or you could be the super dope guy and...
What were we calling him? Super support...
I
higher
forget.
up,
the highest echelon on our.
You
should check out our Patreon page. We'll fly you anywhere in the country you want to go if you subscribe to that.
Basically,
we'll go whale hunting.
Not
whale hunting. We'll go looking for ambergris.
Well, yeah, we'll break into any place with you at that point.
Yeah,
I mean you're paying the fees for the lawyers. We're good.
Yeah.
Rock and
I'm
roll.
all about it.
So tell them why it's a special episode, though. Joe Skelly.
You forgot to tell me why.
Oh, right. Super special episode. We went out on a big in our travels time this weekend.
Oh, before that, hold on.
Oh, did I miss
I'm
something?
going to interrupt. Yes.
Right.
One thing.
What?
This is the last week to submit your story
Oh.
for the podcast contest.
Oh, I don't want to get on people, but some of these stories we've gotten are they're like half bots. Like we
got a bunch of bots sending us stories.
I get these emails that
is it Chat APT?
I don't know.
Or Chad ABD or ABG or whatever that thing's called?
It's like they were thinking out loud and then just stopped thinking out loud.
Oh, it's like that.
Some of them are readable.
Right.
Unreadable.
All right, listen. This is your last week to subscribe.
Last week.
You
could win prizes.
You could win prizes. You might win a gift card. Maybe.
Remember, if these stories keep staying horrible, we're not reading them.
You could win a trophy. Let's see if your story is better than the last trophy winners. Right? There are 3 topics. What are the 3 topics for the story contest? Your worst holiday.
Your worst holiday with your family. Has to be family holiday.
Okay, your worst family holiday.
Yep. Or love.
Or your worst love experience.
Or anniversary.
Or worst anniversary.
Oh, birthday, sorry.
Anniversary/birthday.
Right.
Worst.
Right.
And if
basically a significant traditional day for you that got fucked up with your family. There has to be billions of those stories.
Oh, there has to be.
I mean,
and if you have all 3, oh shit, you might just win right off the rip.
If you have the trifecta, if your family's just a dumpster fire,
and it's your birthday/anniversary on Easter,
right? and like you were like 6 months pregnant, and your mother-in-law was like, "Sweetheart, I don't think you should eat that. You're looking kind of fat,"
or whatever it might be. Who knows?
Crazy family stories.
Yeah,
we don't care. Can you top
about how your uncle got shitty drunk and fell through the dining room table?
Yeah. Can you top? Can you top the gentleman who found the body at the bottom of the stairs is the question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Go check out the old episodes for that one because that's in there somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
That one was, that one kind of left us on a like, we didn't know what to say.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those.
We haven't been left speechless too many times.
Yep. In fact, I could name almost all of them on my hands. And Joe Skelly's hands. All right, so... okay,
super special
contest thing aside, we also have a guest coming up.
Oh yeah,
we're current time right now, so all of our announcements this week are going to be right because this is basically a live drop episode.
So are we going to talk about who our next our guest is?
No, we're not worried about that. We'll let them figure it out.
Next week, you're going to have a super special guest.
Yeah, let them figure it out on their own. So, this month's trip for Joe Skelly and I in the world of what kind of fucked up shit can we look at and tell you about? We visited a Mansfield.
Reformatory.
Tell them what Mansfield is, Joe Skelly.
Mansfield Reformatory was a prison that was built, I want to say at the turn of the century, right? Early 1900s.
I think it was earlier, right? Because the first draft was late 18s or something.
Late 1800s, like and it was originally built as a children's reformatory.
Listen, we're not fact checkers,
right?
We're
but this thing looks like a fucking medieval castle from the outside. And the fucked up thing is ridiculous. It was designed to inspire people.
Why?
If you pass those gates, it was supposed to inspire you to become a better person.
Do you think that's why a lot of those older places like that look like that?
I am of the belief that it was designed to look like that, so you never wanted to go back there.
And you think it's that, like, you think it's built scary like that for that? Because, okay.
A lot of the prisons, there's another one in West Virginia that looks almost identical to that.
Right, and if I were to describe this, first of all, if you don't know this, before we get into our elaborate schemes of description and stupidity and drunken stuckness, this is the same prison that some of the scenes from
Shawshank Redemption
were recorded in. So, if you like that movie and you've seen it, you'll see a couple of things in there. And of course, there are some pictures that we're going to be posting on the Patreon, by the way. Shout out again to our Patreon people. If you're on there, you get all the dirty, gory pictures that me and Joe Skelly take. Anyways... Yeah, so it does have the vibe like in the movies when the gates open and it pans over to the car, slowly driving in. It shows the ass end of the car as it drives up to it. It's got that whole vibe.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, and you think that's what they were going for basically during that time?
Yes.
Do you think, not to get on a tangent, but because it almost applies, do you think it's because back then America was just about looking better still?
Well, I mean, it's incredible because when you're inside the facility, even though it was a reformatory for children initially, everything on the inside of that building is ornate.
What's that mean?
Like beautifully designed.
Oh, right. Like
right.
Almost like as if you were trying to entertain more fancier type people, not just...
Right.
So I'm confused. And again, we're storytellers. This is my favorite part. So I don't go to look this up. If I have to Google everything, I go insane. But so this was made for younger children.
It was made for kids.
Okay, first of all, right off the rip, if you say that, fuck that.
Right.
There's not a fucking thing about that building
that's
made for kids.
Right.
Not a motherfucking thing.
Right.
Is that in the description of that building?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's gnarly.
Oh yeah, that's what it was made. It was open for kids for many, many years before it turned into an adult prison.
Okay, and it was an adult prison too. But okay, so we're gonna get into that and stuff. All right, let's keep going with the intro stuff. So you show up to this place. It's a super giant mansion looking, and we're not talking like little mansion. He's not joking. It's not.
It looks like a fucking castle.
Yeah, and not the type of castle with like drawbridges and fucking yoke towers. We're talking like more modernized fortress castle. Like it's very
made out of giant stone blocks.
Yeah, I'd say it's fucking depressing. A little bit. And I mean, what adds to it even more is that place is surrounded by other prisons, which I 100% hadn't realized.
Oh yeah.
So that's something else. If you're not getting the vibe from the innards, which you will,
oh, without a doubt,
you can walk outside, take a peer in any direction, and get a different vibe. So
a modern vibe,
a modernized vibe. Sure,
that's nowhere near as cool.
Right. That's not. Yeah. There's no fanciness there because they've given up on that part of the plan.
Rehabilitation.
Yes, that's what we're calling it. That's right. We're still using this word.
Right.
So Joe Skelly and I, being the wonderful story seekers that we are,
oh yeah,
got up early before the sun rose, packed our bags, and headed out to this freaky deaky place.
Yes, we did.
You pull into it, and like we said, it's castle vibes. Now, Joe Skelly and I are, so to speak, self-funded. And we're only here for the fun. You know, if you guys support us, we love that. And if you don't, it's okay. We still want you to listen to the stories. That's the most important part. So with this prison place, and just to let you guys know, you can pay a lot of money to go there in the middle of the night.
And spend the night there, yes.
Yes. And if you're interested in that, you can. Now, we didn't for multiple reasons. Number one, we're breaking half the rules already.
Yeah, and number two, you didn't want to spend the night in that haunted ass fucking building.
We're not breaking more rules. We're breaking enough rules. So we stayed in the daylight, as the daywalker would. Well, half the daywalker.
half the daywalker, right?
Yeah. So we went during the daytime, and let me tell you, it's still creepy.
It's creepy
It makes no difference. I think it's yeah, well, let's just get into it. So you kind of go into this place, and it doesn't look like a prison from the outside.
Right.
From the outside, you're kind of like, who cares? It's like creepy old man mansion. Stay away from it. Dude gets lost in the West Wing and doesn't see the East Wing for Beauty and the Beast times, and shit's just locked away and whatever. Anyways, you go into the place, and I'm imagining, you tell me. So when you first walk in, you have a bit of a display area. Is that what that could be considered?
Well, we didn't even get to see the display. Initially, you just start off in the warden's quarters.
Oh, okay. That's the warden's quarters as well. Oh, that's what that was.
Right.
Okay.
So you walk through the hallway, you walk up the stairs, you're on the second floor, and that's where some of the office spaces were. And then the third floor is where the warden's family lived.
Oh, that explained. I was slightly bit confused about it because I was like, did they change this part? Did they want it for something else? That explains why it's a little bit more homey when you first walk in.
Right. It looks like a gorgeous mansion, right?
Right.
Incredible dining room, right?
Right.
Incredible sitting rooms.
Right. I think did they have a library in there or something somewhere?
Yep.
They had a bunch. So when you walk in, you're in the house part, but at the same time,
It's in the center of the superstructure of the prison.
Right. And at the same time, even though you're in the prison and it's more of the normalized part, you're still looking at a bunch of weird stuff. They had a bunch of stuff on display. Old tools, old uniforms, right down to old, they had the, not original, but one of the first tracks that they were using for the door.
Right.
For the prison doors. Like they put the track piece in there to show you how it was working.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting to see. It's also interesting to see how much material they used back then to build certain things.
Yes.
You know, because it was, I mean, that stuff was what? Just, is that cast iron or what is that stuff? It's just heavy duty.
It's cast iron.
Yeah, just big shit, right? So
industrial, if you will.
What was the, they also had, which I thought was interesting, they had pulled the electric chair up into that other display area.
Yeah, the Ohio's electric chair was on display. Old Sparky.
Old Sparky, as they called it.
Yeah.
Now, did that room, to you, that room did not seem like it would be...
That's not where that took place.
Right, okay. That's what
that came from another facility.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. Because when we were walking through, now mind you, as we did go through the tour, we very much discovered that there's a shit ton of that's locked off, that you're not getting into. So anyways, you walk in, you see all the beautiful display stuff. They had some really cool pictures. They have really cool uniforms there. Shows you all the old guard pictures, all the old uniforms. They had that giant door there. That's a safe door.
The vault door for the armory.
For the armory, right.
Yeah. But that's in a different place.
That's in a different place.
Yeah.
They keep that.
So was Old Sparky. That was in a different area too.
In a different area. Yeah, of where they have it sitting. Mm-hmm. Right. So this is the more museum modernized part of it. So then you go through.
Go upstairs to the third floor, and there's several rooms up there that are absolutely known to be haunted. They've done paranormal investigations there on the third floor in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the warden's wives died up there.
Oh, wonderful.
There's another room that's people have had chairs thrown at them in the room.
Really?
Yeah, it's the one that had the chair sitting in the middle of the room, and they shut the door and turn off the lights. And if you can stay in there, you're a badass.
Right.
But it connects to the prison chapel.
Right. What did you think of that chapel?
Now you have to walk past one of the sets from Shawshank Redemption.
The movie.
The movie. And then you walk up into the chapel. And the chapel's like 2 stories tall. It's like in the main tower of the superstructure.
Yep.
We didn't get a chance to go up to the TB ward, which was on the 3rd floor, which is super fucking creep show when you get up there. There's just if you ever have the opportunity to go there, it feels oppressive when you walk up there.
Is that the one that you were telling me the story about?
No, that's another
different place. Okay. So have you been up there already?
Yes, I have.
Now
been up
you
to
went
the TV
out.
ward.
You've been there before.
Yes.
On a bigger, longer, faster tour.
It was different because the places we couldn't visit this time, we were able to visit the other time. But there's still places from the other time I was there that I still haven't seen.
Right. And there's more. And we'll talk about
like
that
the basements
more.
And the sub basements.
Yeah.
Where like the deep old hole was. Right.
Right. And so we walk in, we get in there, we check out all the more nicer type stuff. They had some medical tools there, I think.
Yep.
Some weird, I was like, no. The word is no. Don't want to be here.
We go to the chapel.
Go to the chapel.
Chapel's massive.
So the chapel was massive. They had
these incredible columns that were holding up the ceiling.
Right. And then how about that elevator?
Oh, the caged elevator that went all the way up to the TB ward. That's how they got the bodies in and out of the TB ward.
Now, what exactly does TB ward do?
Tuberculosis ward.
They have an entire ward just for that?
Yeah, because it's a super contagious disease.
Ugh.
So that's where they stored all the people with tuberculosis.
Wonderful. And they let them take the elevator up, huh?
So that they wouldn't...
What was up with that? So the elevator thing was super weird, because it's, I mean, it looked like a giant fucking cage.
Yeah, it was wrapped in steel bars. All the way.
Just all the way to the top.
Yep.
So you think they were doing the old school, ship the prisoner down through there, and hey, sending one down, and fucking old boy has to come down.
Yep.
Did I read something there on the wall that said somebody tried to use it to escape or something like that? Bro.
People tried to, like the paper shotgun that we saw.
Yeah.
That the one prisoner took a bunch of newspapers and made a shotgun, and that thing looked real as fuck.
Right. And only needs one.
Attempted to make an escape with the paper shotgun and almost made it.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. And then
it's like the old bar soap trick.
Right. From the chapel, when you leave the chapel, you're on catwalks.
So yeah, that's where it gets really interesting. The catwalks is where you start to more feel that place is goofy.
Oh, for sure.
That's where it settles in.
Right.
Because
the moment you leave the chapel and you're on the catwalk and you're on the 5th deck, the 5th tier.
Right.
And it's wrapped in a cage.
Horrible prison.
Right.
Fucking whatever you call them.
Every tier of that prison's on that one wing is wrapped in cages.
Right. Which is, and we bring up the wrapped part because if you go back to the other side where it was made, 60 years earlier?
Yeah, the other wing.
There is no wrapping.
Yeah, they only had maybe just below waist-high railings on all 5 tiers.
Which means...
people were getting launched off the tiers all the time.
Have you ever played Red Rover on the side of a cliff?
That's about what it was, right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
About what it
was. Red Rover, he's going over.
Right.
So, as we discussed, I'm sure per safety, could you imagine, you're the engineer of a prison and... you're building this entire thing. You draw this shit out. I mean, you just work on this for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And as you're designing the prison, you're like, hey, man, I'm going to put these bars a little bit lower. These guys come out. They feel a little bit better. They feel a little bit freer. You design it. It goes up. And a year into it, they tell you how many dudes have been thrown off your fucking design.
Right? How fucked up is that? Or maybe they thought that these kids would not
be aggressive.
That's
what I'm saying.
Right, right.
But you're building a fucking prison, mate.
Yeah.
What? I know that we're trying to keep the faith, but I have faith that not every shark's going to bite me, but I'm not going to stick my arm in their mouth to find out. That's all I'm saying. And they went the whole other route with the other wing because if you go over there, fucking thing is completely caged, boy.
Floor to ceiling, it's a cage.
If you go in the aisle, it's fucking creepy. Because if they close the end of the aisles on you, you're not coming out.
Right. So not only do you have your cell door, right?
But the hallway's locked.
But the balcony to get to the staircases to get off your tier is also caged in.
Yeah. Somebody has to come let you out of your cage twice.
Yes. Did you read the story that said because at the end of each tier they had that big pull arm that opened and shut the doors?
Yeah.
They said that the prisoners used to play chicken with the doors until one day one guy didn't move his head in time and it crushed his head and killed him.
Perfection.
Yeah. So they stopped playing chicken.
I'm not going to lie. I was busy running the camera. I was not reading anything and it was kind of creepy anyways. So I was more watching for the ghosties. I was more focused.
Now, were there certain spots in that prison that you walked into cold spots? Where the room would be a certain temperature and then you got to a certain place and all of a sudden wherever you were standing it was 20 degrees colder.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then you would walk out of that cold spot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely there.
And then
let's talk about the tech. How about the fact that the gimbal went down?
Oh yeah. The gimbal went down?
For no reason.
Just shit the bed while we were inside.
It was freaking out telling me that it wasn't balanced. We balanced it 5 times. We went outside to balance it.
It worked just fine.
Yeah. And then you'd come back in and the fucking thing would be like, we're unbalanced. And it would just fucking shut off. And I'm like, I've never even seen it do that.
Or how about your GoPro went through how many batteries?
Oh yeah. 3 batteries in less than an hour or some shit. And those were fully charged all night. Yeah.
There's something to that place, right?
Right.
There is something to that place. Or how about when we walked down the one tier and you walked past the cell where the guy decided he couldn't live anymore, so he lit himself on fire, covered himself in lighter fluid.
Right.
And committed suicide by...
Who gave them lighter fluid?
No, right. They could smoke back
then. Yeah.
But through self-immolation.
Right.
as they call it.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I like how they have a name for that. All right, let's read back though, because we went too far. So let's go back to the cells. So you walk onto the catwalk. First of all, you're caged like a fucking animal. So that already makes me nervous. Oh, mind you too, you're 5 tiers up on a catwalk that looks like it was made in the 1800s.
Oh, yeah.
So you're already stuck on that.
You're 5 stories above the ground.
And you don't think my fat ass was wondering where the weakest point on that floor was. I was looking down. I'm like, well, oh my.
Yes.
Well, I think the Mega Beast had to come back at one point because I got distracted.
And those cells
staring down
were like, they had 2 bunks, one above each other.
So yeah, let's talk about that.
It was wide enough for 2 bunks, a toilet, and a towel rack.
So if you took, if you took one person off the bunk and had them put shoulder to wall from bunk to wall, that was it.
That was it. That's how
now,
wide
do you
it
think
was.
that was the part designed for kids?
No, I think that was the part to create as many cells as possible and utilize all the space.
Well, and then the beds were gnarly. They're chained beds with a border, and then the bottom of the bed, instead of being flat like most modern day jails now, are just flat, hard metal.
Or they were springs.
Right. These were wires. Like these were the old spring wires. Is what I'm saying. So if you're laying on that and that bitch breaks and pops up and pokes you, now you've just got a permanent fucking stab that's hitting you, all night long.
Night long, every night.
You're not fixing that.
Nope.
What do you hit it with? Your hand?
Nothing.
Your sheet?
They don't give a fuck.
Your pillow? Right.
They didn't give a fuck.
And then on the other side, we were discussing like, hey, what about the guy who just decides to take all his entire bed apart and sell those as shivs? Right. Dude comes in, why aren't you on your bed? I don't know, it's not there.
Where'd your bed go? Right.
I sold it. I'm gonna need a replacement. Yeah, there just wasn't enough room.
No.
And listen too, here's another thought that I had. So did you notice that all the toilets were missing for the most part?
Oh yeah, because they took them all out.
But the few that were in there were modernized?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here. Bro, they took those out so you wouldn't see how shitty that shit was.
Oh, we didn't get to see the room where all the toilets are stored.
Yeah, I'll bet they have a bucket. I'll bet it was like a bucket with a chain. Dude, everyone was ripped out. You gotta remember,
that place ran until the 90s.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yep.
No way, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ran where?
It was a prison until like sometime in the 90s.
There's no fucking way. That thing is inhumane.
That's why they shut it down.
That entire thing is fucking
overcrowded
inhumane.
and it was falling apart.
What? Falling apart? I don't care what anybody says. That was not 20 years worth of damage we were looking at. There's no fucking way that all happened in the last 20 years. Some of that metal looked like it had
early
been...
90s. Like early 90s.
30 years.
I know somebody who knows a person. So the person I know worked in the current prison.
Right.
All right. And they worked with somebody who worked at the current prison, but also worked at the old prison.
And how did they describe it?
They said the place was fucking brutal.
Yeah, it was gnarly.
It was fucking brutal. That's what they pretty much said. Right. It's like, you saw the giant shower room, right?
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about that?
You walk in the giant shower room, and the wall makes a left turn. Like, you can look down the center where all the shower heads were, right?
Right.
But there was a whole 40-foot section that was hidden from main view.
Right.
Like, how many people got there?
Dude, let's talk about that. So first of all, and again, guys,
and that room was ice fucking cold.
Yeah, if you're on our Patreon, you'll be able to see the pictures of these that we took. But so first of all, everybody said it, and I was thinking it. Those rooms look like fucking gas chambers. I don't care what anybody says, dude.
Oh, the showers, yeah.
That was the creepiest fucking shit ever. It looks like it, and not even a fucking gas chamber. It looks like a slaughterhouse because it's all rimmed from the outside. So you'd have an animal in there that would be stuck.
Oh, you're talking about the other shower room.
Yeah, the other one too.
Yeah.
Both of them look like a chamber, but
yeah.
But the one was set up so it looked like you could herd animals in there, slaughter them, and just wash the rest of it down.
Waist-high wall.
Right.
That wrapped around the outside, the perimeter of the shower
What kind
heads.
of creepy shit is that, dude? And I get it. You know, I'm guessing just from my view of documentaries that like there at some point humans believe that if we had it big open, there'd be less stress, quote unquote, you know, less problems. But we've gone to other stuff now, and I'm still curious. I'm just like, dude, could you imagine being the guard standing there with like 200 wet, horrible men just in this big open room?
Do you think the guards
No.
actually went in there?
I don't know. Yeah, no, that's a good question.
Probably not.
Yeah, they just herded them in like cattle. I mean, this is like,
And if you made it out, you made it out.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying?
That is horrible. The one room is definitely the fucking worst. Like it was the long one that looked like a white tunnel.
Yes.
And
But
it
that's
just
the
had,
part that had the 40-foot section that you couldn't see from the main door
right.
that people got in there. And then they had iron coat hooks on the wall
Oh yeah. What the
that looked
fuck
like
was that
spikes for towels.
Right. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's what you need. Put that around people. You
Yeah.
break one of those bitches off the wall, you got yourself a hook.
Or you
Yeah.
just pick somebody up and slam
hang
them
'em
into
on
it.
there?
Yeah, hang them
Yeah,
on
yeah.
there, right?
I wasn't gonna get graphic. This is a comedy podcast, guy.
Right.
Let's not get. It's only implied. We can't say that they did that,
Okay, fair enough.
but you know they did.
Right. And look, there's spots in there where you just get a really
Dude,
weird feeling.
There's no fucking way you could fit in those beds in those cells. Grown ass men are not fitting in those. We had to hunk down, turn sideways just to walk into them. Oh, and then how about the across from those cells were the fucking isolation chambers, which was a circle pod that you had enough room to crouch down and sit in, and it had a lock on the outside of it.
Oh yeah. Steel doors.
So I'm pretty sure
Solid steel doors, right?
So either that was made for midgets to make tall people fucking angry, or they were locking kids in this dome room that's concrete and is just a circular concrete room with a chair in the middle of it.
And it's probably 7 feet across.
If that, dude.
Yeah, you could stick your arms out and touch the walls.
Touch both sides.
Yeah.
Right. I wasn't fitting in there. I couldn't even fit in it.
No.
I think a couple of the girls climbed in, I'm not sure, but like I was like, I'm not fitting in there, bro. That's not happening.
Right.
And I don't care what anybody says. Oh, that was storage. The fuck it was. You don't put a lock like that on a door for a chair. That's not storage, guy. You were using that for human storage. And those were all sprawled across the regular cells, just randomly, you know. Opposite. Every 50. So if you're a fuck up, they just take you across the way and push you in there.
Right.
Right? That must have been the start.
And that's only if you're a partial fuck up.
Oh,
because that
right.
wasn't, because if you were a real fuck up,
that's not the worst.
if you were a real fuck up, that's where they took you to solitary.
We'll get to that. So what were you saying? We walk in there, we see those cells. So how about the colors on the camera?
Dude, that was the weird. So 3 of us took still photos from a balcony down the entire length of the cell block. And in all 3 photographs, there was no lights, there was no nothing. But when the photographs came out, there was a green hue
across all of them
that was not
spots.
there. That was not there.
Visible to the eye.
Visible to the naked eye. There was no infrared lighting. There was no
right
trick photography, no nothing. So the interesting thing is if you can pick it up on your GoPro.
The only, we haven't checked those yet, and we're going to, but the only thing that's going to take us a few weeks to edit that footage. But the thing that's interesting to me is, number 1, we got it with all 3 cameras. Number 2, the light was green, but there was no green light. The only thing that I could think of is that the light that was cast there, and first of all, that light was not big enough to hit all of that. So that's the other part where I'm like, even if it was a yellow, not a yellow, it's a very warm, cool, like a cool, warm, no, that doesn't make sense.
It's a bright green.
Right, that showed up, but I'm talking about the light that was there.
Oh, it was like a 30-watt light bulb,
right,
hanging from the fucking ceiling.
Right, at the way top, and there's no way. The only thing I could think of is that light's bouncing off the walls, and the color's green because it was all made of copper and it's rusted or some shit. But again, that wall looks
green
like
on
it
the
was
brick.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is it was the wrong side.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that was pretty wild. So you get off the one side that's all caged in, you walk around to the other side.
Which they have locked off. You can't go up there.
Yeah.
They don't want you playing Red Rover.
Right. And then, then we went to Solitary.
Yeah, so did we go right from there to Solitary?
Yes.
So let's talk about that one.
Oh, the first 5 cells in Solitary were the isolation cells where they were just steel walls with no light.
Right. How about that? And this is already in a basement.
Well, it wasn't. No, it was the first floor.
That's the first floor?
Yes.
You can't see no fucking light in there.
That was the first floor.
That doesn't make any sense. There was no windows.
None.
The whole thing is like a square, and in the center of the square, you have another square with all the cells. And those cells didn't make any sense. Those were like bucket cells. Like, hey, here's a bucket for your shit. There's the same bucket for everything else.
And they had bars, and then they had like wire over the bars.
So the one side, that must have been the more modern side. The other side, that was the super creepy side, was the side where they took it all off. They took the doors off, and those cells were the ones that had nothing in them.
And they said they would leave people chained to the ceiling or the floor for 8 hours at a time.
Holy fuck, what? Did it say that on the thing?
No, I heard one of the other tour guides talking about it.
Oh my God. So this is just a torture fest, is what all of this sounds like.
But then we walked past the entrance to the sub-basement in the basement, and I posted that picture.
Yeah.
And that's the bad place.
Down is the bad place. Look, so have you heard stories about things that were in the sub-basements and things that were going on there?
I just heard it, somebody needs to get tuned up.
Oh, we're taking them downstairs into the basement? Yeah, this is literally when there's just not a lot of safety checks for this.
No, and if I'm not mistaken, I want to say there might have been some other cells down there. I could be wrong, but I thought I'd heard that at one point.
Do you doubt it?
No, I don't doubt it.
I don't doubt it. This whole thing is fucked up.
Right.
The whole shebang was just, it's a creepy place. I couldn't believe I was...
Well, on the West Wing, right, above the 5th tier, it's the place you asked me about earlier, they call it the West Attic.
Right.
The only way to access the West Attic is via catwalk. And in the early 1900s, the main prison in Columbus burned to the ground. And there were 300 survivors. And they took those 300 survivors, they said it's between 100 and 300.
Well, while we're on that, we may as well give a shout out to the man that we met there.
Yeah.
If you guys go to Mansfield, the homie Garrett works up there.
Stop down there and say hi to Garrett.
Yep.
He works at the information desk in the main lobby hallway.
Kid loves it. Tells us that he's got more stories than you don't know what with ghosts. I mean, this kid was all in it. He straight up
said that place is haunted like a motherfucker.
Right. And he said that working there, he's into chasing that shit down. So he started telling us about this, and you'd already heard this story, but he was the one that basically told us it was somewhere between
100 and 300.
Right.
They don't have an accurate number.
Right.
And what they did in this attic space above the 5th tier is they put bunk beds up there, and that's where they kept all these prisoners for upwards of 10 years in this giant attic space with no fucking windows.
Okay, this is basically like the kind of shit you watch about on television.
Here's a human storage facility.
Right, about prisoners from other countries. This is the type of shit we're talking about. Storing 300 people in there, never letting them out, never letting them do shit.
And they only had one guard for that section.
Get the fuck out of here.
He would just lock the door and go away and do whatever and come back like every couple hours, open the door and poke his head in.
Get the fuck out of here.
But here's the fucked up thing is I went in there. And when I went in there, it smelled like a burn barrel. Like somebody was actively burning shit in a barrel, like a hobo, right? And I asked the person that we were up there with, I was like, hey, why does it smell like somebody's burning a barrel, like actively burning a barrel up here? And she said, there's never been a fire at Mansfield. And that all those prisoners who survived that fire in Columbus were stored there. She goes, sometimes you'll come up here, you don't smell anything. Sometimes it's a little bit smoky. And then there are nights like tonight where it smells like there's a fire going.
That's not.
And that kid Garrett was like, what you're smelling is the ghosts.
Right.
I was like,
homie believes that.
It was fucking crazy.
Yeah,
so that attic space runs the entire length of the cell block. It's like 30 feet high with a pitched roof.
Right.
Right. And it's the width of both cells back to back, you know.
And so yeah, so while we're on it with the other stuff,
And by the way, were the catwalks caged in?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no, they're not.
They're not. So
I thought
imagine
you were gonna say...
you're the dude in the attic space and they're filing you out to go to mass or church.
Right. You got to let 300 dudes to play Red Rover with you.
Drop you 6 stories to the concrete.
Right.
Very easily done.
Fuck that job.
And by the way, how wide was that catwalk to get there? It was wide enough for a person.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. We didn't go up there this time, thank goodness. But so you would, like you'd said, you figured there was basement levels. Tell him what old boy said about.
There's over 30 miles of tunnels underneath that prison.
The fuck.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, and they had the prisoners build it. I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Do you know how unhappy I would be if you had my ass digging a tunnel under the place I'm trying to escape on purpose? You take me out, you're like, hey man, come dig in our invisible fun tunnel, but you're not going to get out this way either, motherfucker.
Dude, that place is dreadful.
It is.
It's iron,
it's
concrete and brick.
It's gnarly.
And dark as shit, even with the lights on.
There's nothing humane about it. It's amazing. It really is amazing to me to just see how people treat people. Like and I'm not trying to be, wishy-washy, soft, whatever. It's just, that's not even humane, bro. That's not even, there's a point now where you're just like, dude, is he a horse?
Dude, and we went into the medical center.
What medical center?
Right.
Is what the like.
It was a giant open room.
Right. You mean the one with the big sign on the wall that said smoking?
Yes.
Smoking section.
Right.
I'm like, that's from the fucking our era, the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s. That's
right. Oh yeah.
That was us. There, we could smoke on this side.
Right.
You got pneumonia? Just stand over there. Okay.
I don't know. Look, if you got fucked up there, I don't know how much medical treatment you were getting.
Yeah, I don't.
Realistically.
No.
Realistically, I don't know how much you were getting.
Spray some Windex on it.
Right.
Fucking A.
And then they filmed, I didn't know this, but apparently they filmed part of Air Force One there.
Air Force One. They still had Stalin on the wall or something?
Yeah, they had Stalin and
somebody else.
Lenin or Trotsky. Yeah, they had Stalin and Lenin hanging up on the wall.
Did you know this? The Mega Beast was telling me that Tango and Cash was filmed there.
Oh, I did not know that either. No.
Do you remember that movie?
Yes.
Bro, I'm obsessed with a little bit of me at Tango and Cash.
So now you're going to have to rewatch it and see if you recognize
I know every place. As soon as she said it, I knew it all. I named it in the car before we left. She goes, yeah, I think I heard Tango and Cash. The guy was never saying about it. I was like, oh yeah, it's this scene, this scene, this scene, and this scene. She was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I've watched that movie 100,000 times. My boys get junked down into a fucking into a clothing vent or some sort of dump vent. They go into the basement. They're fighting around the washers. I'm like, what other scene in the movie would be Mansfield than the scary fucking prison they're trapped in?
Right.
They're trying to crawl through the wall in the wall space, and the dude lets them through. And we did see that part when you were walking behind the cells. That whole gated area. Yep, for plumbing and all that shit.
Right between the two cell blocks. Yeah.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that's in the movie too, if that's correct.
Right.
Those would be the only scenes. That's the only time they're in a prison. So I thought that was pretty interesting. They had the Shawshank Tunnel on display.
The actual prop, yeah,
right.
From the movie.
So they were like, oh yeah, he gets in through this room, but then this is the tunnel that he crawled through. They said it was made with wood chips and Hershey's syrup.
Yes.
To make the toiletry effect.
Yes.
That he's crawling through. And he's supposed to crawl through that for a long time, and it's filmed in this 50 foot, that wasn't even 50 feet.
Yeah, it wasn't
30
even 50,
foot tunnel,
30 foot cardboard tunnel.
Yeah, he just kept crawling back and forth, I guess, and that's the whole thing. So that was interesting. But again, back to what the kid was saying, like he apparently the employees have a lot more access to all that place.
Oh yeah,
all that place.
Yes. Yes.
We're not going to put our boy on blast, but he was saying some shit where I was like, right. It's like that.
Yeah.
Listen, bro, nah. You ain't going to catch me slipping in that place. I've worked factories in the middle of the night overnight that sound horrible because machines make noises. I would not step foot in that place for any amount of money.
They say there's a prison guard who haunts that place.
Nope. Nope.
And they know him by name, and they call him by name, and he responds.
Nope.
Right? And they said, you'll be in a room, and you'll know he walks into the room because the room drops like 30 degrees.
Dude, no.
It's the moment he comes into the room.
No. I'm good on that.
They said they can hear him walking around and stuff.
I'm
like
good
all
on
kinds
that.
of shit.
How about that spiral staircase that they had sealed off?
Oh, the no fucks given spiral staircase that went from the 5th floor to the ground floor?
Right. How do you make a spiral staircase that looks like a ladder, that looks like a spiral staircase, that looks like a ladder, that looks like neither works? How do you do that?
Right.
5 levels of that shit.
Straight down.
I mean,
if you slipped on the top stair,
you're sliding downwards.
You're rolling down 5
All the
stories
way.
of iron spiral staircase inside of a cage.
Not a fucking bar to hold on to. I did not understand that at all.
No, that's before they gave a fuck about OSHA.
Oh, OSHA. Yeah. What's OSHA?
OSHA didn't exist.
There ain't a fucking thing in that place. If you took every prison in the USA and went through them with OSHA, Mansfield's the one they forgot. Okay? That fucking place is gnarly nasty.
Oh fuck yeah.
And it's not even that bad. It's like when you're visually looking at it, it almost doesn't look bad. But then once it settles in and you realize what the fuck you're staring at, you're like, oh, the fuck we do. What was that room with the big cages and the bed in the middle of it? That was next to the bullpen.
Oh, that
because they had like a bed. That was so it was a room, but it was caged so you could lock it. But the stuff inside was made for a real person, like a guard or an employee. But they might have been able to lock themselves from the inside. That way they could sleep, I'm assuming, or something.
Oh yeah, you talking about the main guard room?
I don't know, man.
Where you could rent it for weddings.
I think
No, it had the nice tile floor and the giant columns.
No. We went through like a little tiny walk. We went through a couple of the dark places.
Where the bullpen was.
Right. And then you walked through, you stepped up 2 steps and you were in this room with a big giant cage.
Oh, yeah.
And a bedroom. It looked like somebody set a bedroom up in it.
Right. That's probably where the gate guard, to access the main guard room, guy the controller stayed.
Right. That way he can not be fucked with and doesn't
have to open the door to let the prisoners out. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. That was a super weird fucking room too. Imagine you have to go to sleep in a cage to avoid the monsters.
Right.
I'm just curious, what kind of people they were really storing there. Because, dude, I think if this is one of those things where you could read actual historical shit from people who were there, it would be horrible. I think it would be horrible.
Well, dude, they had a list of people that were in the original wing.
Right. Oh, did they? Like the whole...
Not all of them, but they had some of the people by name, how many years they got and the crimes they committed.
Right. Yeah.
So people got less time for stabbing and attempted murder than they got for larceny.
Wow.
Right. They had horse thieves. Like crazy shit. And you're like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's tell them about the most fucked up thing. So we were in the cells. And a couple times there were, people passing us, whatever, right? And there was this nice couple there. And I was talking to him, right? Dude was, by the way, this dude was shorter, right? Like 5'5", whatever. At least, I could see over the top of him, so I'm not sure. But so him and his girl are there. They're talking, chatting. We're talking about the cells, talking about whatever. We see them there. They disappear. They come back. They disappear. They come back. Whatever. They're taking the tour with around the same time we are. Me and Joe Skelly walk outside at the end of the tour and walk into the grass to take a picture. And we see the couple walking. And as I mentioned to Joe Skelly that this nice fucking couple.
We should give them some stickers.
Yeah.
We should chop them up about the podcast.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they get attacked by geese.
Attacked.
Oh, yeah.
For no reason.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. They were going through there and disrespected one of the ghosts. And the ghost ran down there and told that geese to fucking beat that woman's ass. Dude, I'm dead serious. Think about it.
Dude, that goose
That goose, there was no reason.
dive bombed that woman's head.
Multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
That man was swinging his arms trying to fight it. She's fucking swinging her hands trying to fight it. That bitch came. Did you see? He jumped up and then attacked like it was fucking Mortal Kombat. He was like, get over here, like mid-air. And the goose jumped on and he's only attacking the broad.
Dude.
Why was he only attacking the broad?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Anyways, the minute we saw that, I said, no, fuck that. We're not going near him.
No.
Because if they pissed off the ghost and the ghost thinks we're friends with him.
You don't want none of that business.
No.
None of that business.
Bad mojo, my guy. How you going to get attacked at the fucking Mansfield prison by the geese? The goose, whatever. The duck, whatever the fuck this thing was. Giant fucking bird. It was like rocket fucking fighting. She was up, and then she was boom, right
Dude,
onto
that
this
goose
bitch.
jumped like 6 feet in the air and then flew
Dude,
over.
right. She was chasing that bitch down the way. And those people were swinging and running, and she's attacking them. How does that... Dude, you know she was in that bitch's cell and farted. Or worse, she took a dump in the fucking prison.
Dude, right. Speaking of which, wasn't you that said I refuse to take a shit in a haunted prison?
Yeah, I won't take a shit nowhere that's haunted for fear of opening a portal to hell. Listen, I ain't trying to piss the dead off. And here's the other thing, too. Fine, while we're on this, before we seal up, because we have this long episode, ladies and gentlemen, it was phenomenal. You need to go check out Mansfield. We're going to scarier places. We have lots of places coming, but... hey, Mansfield or Mothman? Which one's scarier?
Mansfield.
Get the fuck out of here. It's Mothman, obviously. Mothman don't give a fuck about your Mansfield prison. He'll come right at you.
That's true.
Yeah,
that
bro,
is true.
Fuck that.
That is
Mothman
true.
is free, homie.
Okay.
He's so free.
Mothman
Well,
or Hatfield McCoy Cemetery?
no, I can deal with the blood. Mothman's scary as fuck. No. If we have pistols in our hands, we have a fair chance. This Mothman shit ain't right. And that fucking having a vibe in the middle of the forest where you walk into a room and bro, I get it. Oh, concrete. Oh, darkness. The fuck all.
Hold on, no.
Fuck all.
The first bunker we went into, there was no bad feeling. But the second bunker we went into,
yeah.
There was like a weird mist in there.
There was a black wall. You walked through the doorway and you couldn't see outside.
And you couldn't see the opposite side.
Yeah, and that didn't make sense.
Which you could in the other one, which is exactly the same as the...
And doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
No, but it's not the same because you guys said that one that we went to, the second one that you tricked me to go into, was the one where the kids actually saw him.
No. They saw him in that area, not in that bunker.
Oh, well, fuck that too then, dude. Why you got... Go ahead, tell him what it did to me this time.
What?
You tell him.
Tell him about what?
I haven't shit in 4 days. It's not funny. I've been eating healthy for 2 months. We get up from Mansfield and nothing. Joe Skelly said it was because of a piece of cheese. I don't believe it. The fuck all. We went in that place that got the ghosts suck the life right out of you.
Dude, there is some weird vibes in that joint. Without a doubt. And that was in the daytime. When you go at night, it is a different fucking animal.
Negative. Have you stayed the night there?
I was there till about 10 p.m.
Would you stay the night there?
I would be hard pressed, but I might do it if I had
some other caffeine.
Folks. A lot of caffeine, some other
Dude, I ain't
folks.
going to sleep there, homie. I might stand in there, but there's no fucking way I'd sleep.
Dude, you know as soon as the lights go out,
no.
You know that you're going to hear all kinds of weird noises that you're not supposed to be hearing because nothing functions in there. They said they've walked through there at night, they could hear toilets flushing. And there ain't no goddamn toilets in that motherfucker.
Oh.
All kinds of crazy shit. They said they can hear people talking, people walking on the tiers.
Okay. Well, we went in the daytime because I'm a big pussy. So there's that. Don't be messing with no ghost, man.
Right.
Unless we got a proton pack.
Right.
Then we can go.
I did want to say this.
Yeah.
2 things have been on my mind. Number 1, Kip is the worst name you could give a child.
After Knight Rider?
No, not Kit. Kip. K-I-P.
Oh, Kip.
Dude, if you name your child Kip, beat your head against a wall.
You're going to Mansfield.
They're going to Mansfield.
Or your kid is.
Or your kid is, right? Kip is the name of a serial killer.
Ooh.
That's a serial killer
Bro,
name.
we got to stop naming serial killers with their names because they're going to start writing us. We've already got weirdos writing us as it is, telling us to check out Asians who chop up lobsters live and shit.
Right.
Why were you watching that shit?
And
Moriarty.
what was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Oh, so I saw this guy that was a quasi lumberjack. Right, he was about 6'2", weighed about 85 pounds.
What?
He's wearing, the
Red Wing Moctos?
yeah, Red Wing boots.
Yeah.
He's got the black and red flannel on.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the full beard.
Of course.
But he's like 67 pounds soaking wet with 2 bricks in his pocket.
Perfection.
And he's riding one of those electric bikes that looks like a giant mountain bike with the super fat tires, right? And he's standing up on the pedals, and he's fucking holding up traffic as he's going down this main road, right?
Are you kidding me?
I'm dead serious, right? He's got his trucker hat on too. And
well, now he's gone sideways.
right. And so I started getting mad. I started thinking about it, right? What does this tell me about you, right? You're on this electric bike, blocking up traffic, right? You could argue, hey, I'm doing it because I want to be green, right? Fuck you. You know what the greenest power is?
Not with that lithium battery.
You know what the greenest power is?
Pump.
Fucking people power, bro.
People power, yeah.
That's the greenest fucking power you can fucking have.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this tells me, number one, you're not strong enough to ride a real bicycle.
Ooh.
And you're not man enough to ride a motorcycle.
Ooh.
So that's my argument. If you're gonna rock the goddamn lumberjack look, at least get him. And you're gonna ride a bike, pedal that bitch. Don't be fucking lazy.
Punks hate hipsters.
Is that what this is?
It is. The hipster was the future of the fashion punk. They only could evolve.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
I mean, what else can you call it?
I also have another idea. I've got a lot on my mind. Here's a strange fact for you. You know, before like the Civil War, pigs were kind of like free roaming farm animals, right?
Like wild pigs?
No, they would have pigs, but they'd have fences around their entire property.
Oh, yeah,
Pigs
yeah.
could kind of
Yeah,
roam around their property, right?
Yeah.
Pigs didn't start to get penned in until after the Civil War, or during the Civil War.
Oh. Why?
Because they were eating the dead.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So they're like, we just can't have these pigs roaming out onto the battlefield disposing of the dead. So they started having to pen up all their pigs. Weird fact of the fucking day.
And with that morbid shit, this has been another...
You want me to go on? I got something else.
No. We're good.
Okay.
I think we've filled this episode full of more
morbid shit.
And
And maybe next week I'll talk about my idea for the new sorting hat.
Like the Harry Potter sorting hat?
Yeah, I have a new idea.
All right, well, spit that one out because now I got to know. And we're already here.
Right.
Go ahead. I got to hear this one.
Right. So,
new idea for the sorting.
My new idea for the sorting hat.
Wait. Before you say it, which house would you be?
Oh, I don't know anything about this.
Oh, okay.
This is just my concept.
I know which house you'd be.
This is my concept.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
We sort children at the age of 6.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm already disturbed. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
What the fuck's happening?
You take the hat out, and the hat can be any fucking hat, right?
Okay.
It could be a top hat.
Okay.
Can't be a baseball hat.
Bowler
it's
hat.
Bowler hat,
Okay.
something like that,
Derby.
right?
Yep.
And you watch all the children grow up to about 6, right? And at 6, you're like, it's time for the sorting, right? You walk around, you could be like, you're Hufflepuffle.
Right.
You're Puffinberry.
Right.
You're fucking stupid. And if they're fucking stupid, you throw them off the cliff like the Spartans used to. Save them a life of embarrassment.
We're going to go to hell. Turn this shit off. 97 seconds. I don't know what just happened. Look for our Mansfield pictures on the Patreon. I'm not even sure what's going on right now.
I'm tired. I can't deal with stupid people anymore. I'm just saying.
Dave, you went deep. You went all the way to 6, though. Like, 6-year-olds are still trying to get their shoes tied right, I think.
All right, so maybe we both jumped to 10. Like, how old were the Spartans? Listen, they trained the Spartan children until they were like 6 or 10, right? And then they took them out and dropped them off in the fucking woods, like days away from the home base, and said, if you made it home, you're good to go.
Oh. Trial by fire.
Right. And if they looked stupid when they were born, they threw them off a cliff.
Punk's not dead.
That's all I got.
97 seconds. We want to thank everybody.
Write your stories.
Oh, God.
Submit your stories. This is the last
They're
week.
supposed to be funny. Please. Please. If I get more jizz face stories, I'm going to be sad.
Oh, we totally forgot that.
What?
The bird story. We'll have to tell it next week.
Yeah, no, save that. I want to tell that one to our guest. Let me write that down.
Yes.
Let me write that down. Birds, windows, and love.
Yeah.
Birds, windows, and love. Listen, we love all of you. Thanks for checking in. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Shenanigans.
I know it's kind of long and drawn out, but this is just us. Check out our pictures. Go to our Patreon. That's where you'll find all the deep content.
Yeah. We love you all. 97 seconds.
Bays Boys Podcast.